Welcome back, guys. I have another before and after, but this one is so special to me because it is my kitchen that I have currently been living in for maybe about a year, a little bit over a year. It was a flip that I purchased in the greater Tacoma area that we live in, and it was super rundown, and I'm so excited to go through the nitty and gritty of what the layout was before and what I've turned it into to create more storage, but also more countertop space. And so before we get started, guys, my name is Kerstin, kitchen designer with King's Kitchen, and make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. If you are somebody that's working on their own kitchen design, kitchen remodel, and you're looking for tips and tricks, this is definitely the channel to be. So let's get started.
All right, so I did some digging here. Again, this project is like over a year old. When I first purchased this house, it was like a flip, so like a personal flip that I was going to move into for a little while, and and then eventually make it like a rental property or a vacation home. Now, here is a picture from the original listing, actually. And as you can see the post right to the kind of the middle of the room. That's kind of the left side of the kitchen, and you see that old wood paneling, and that is kind of that half wall that used to be in the kitchen and divided the kitchen from the living space. This is a rambler. It's a pretty small house, so there is really not a lot of room for any kind of dining table or anything. So it was really, really important for me to integrate some kind of seating area so you can actually sit down, maybe have kids, and then have them do some homework, or and even have dinner together. So that wood paneling right there, if I go to the next picture, this is kind of an angle into the kitchen. You see the range used to be against that half wall facing the living room. So it was actually a galley kitchen back when I purchased the home. And that is just a ton of wasted space because you see right under there by that window, I mean, the size of that kitchen is actually pretty big, but it was not utilized to the best way. And one of the reasons was how low that window was sitting. You can kind of see the comparison from the bottom of the window to the perimeter of that kitchen where the dishwasher is sitting, and how the cabinets would be higher. So that was the number one thing I did. I said, let's take out this half wall. Instead of the range sitting here, we're going to wrap the kitchen around the window. And that means we're going to replace the window with a different size so we can wrap our kitchen in kind of like a U shape and then create that integrated seating area. Now, one thing that, of course, I always want to do is be frugal, right? We're just not, everybody has a budget, every project has a budget, and it's really, really important to always be honest with your designer and your contractor, what are you trying to achieve? Now, don't get me wrong, we're not trying to be unreasonable and crazy with our budget, but we are trying to be realistic, okay? So I said, all right, let's keep the refrigerator location where it's at. Let's keep the sink and the main plumbing where it is at. Let's actually move over the dishwasher closer to my sink so I can wrap the kitchen and around the perimeter. Because my dishwasher was sitting so close there, and I'll show that to you in just a second on the other drawing. But okay, so I want to be frugal, and that means being kind of smart about what are you changing on the appliances, because the appliances are always what are going to cost money. So I kept the refrigerator and the sink in the same place. And here is another picture from the different angles showing you where that refrigerator was sitting and the sink. The only thing I did end up moving was the dishwasher, which is actually not that costly to move the dishwasher because it doesn't have a direct connection. You're just running it through your sink. And then I did change the location of the range. Now that I did already have a lot of electrical on this project, so I wasn't worried about that. I wanted that range to sit underneath the window, which also meant that for venting purposes, I was only able to get to work with two different manufacturers for my slide-in range that actually have an integrated downdraft. And in the final pictures, you can kind of see a little bit on that downdraft, on that range, how it has a centered downdraft on the cooktop. So it is actually venting underneath the window straight to the outside. Okay, so let's look at our drawings before we get into like the final cool pictures, again, of kind of the comparison before and after. But here you're looking at the top view, and you can see right away the refrigerator is staying in the same spot here on the south wall. I really wanted a tall pantry unit. I think pantry units are so efficient and everybody needs them in their life. And if you have room for any kind of tall unit, you need to add it if you can. And then I've created this kind of turn with the countertop, and I really like that little nook to the right of the pantry. That's where I sit my coffee machine and just little knickknacks and different things. Then I have my sink in the same position that I had it before. The only thing I've changed was I think the original cabinet was a 36 inch and I made it a 33 inch so I can squeeze my dishwasher next to it and have enough room for a filler, like an inside corner filler, and wrap that corner, and I actually ended up with a voided corner. And I think that's really important to go over because everybody's always like, oh my God, you're wasting space. Oh my God, you didn't do anything in that corner. Okay, well, let's talk about what I could have done in that corner. And there is a really good video on this, and I'm gonna put the link below. In this corner, I could have done a lazy Susan. Okay, then I couldn't have fit my dishwasher. I could have done a blind corner cabinet, right? One like this guy. Okay, well, then I couldn't have fit my trash can. And having a trash can and having the dishwasher right there is way more important to me than having some kind of corner solution. I have so much storage in this kitchen. I want a hidden trash can and I want my dishwasher in a certain position. So it always depends on that layout. I don't like when people are like, oh, I have to have something in my corner. Oh my God, I cannot waste this space. No, you're not wasting this space. You are utilizing the space in the best way possible, how this kitchen is going to perform for you. And that's what I wanted. So I got my dishwasher wrapping around. I have my trash unit. I have 2 dogs, guys. I mean, they get into the trash all the time, so it's super important to me to have a hidden trash. I wanted a drawer base left of my range. That is super important for silverware, you know, little dish towels, things like that. And to the right, I wanted a really big drawer base because I love putting my pots and pans into drawer bases. Next to that, I have another base cabinet where I actually just went with a full height door because it is partially underneath that table seating area. And that's where I put like kinds of appliances and things that I don't use all the time. And then when you walk around, there is another drawer base that is actually facing the living room. That's where I keep all of my doggy snacks and doggy things and leashes and everything for the dogs. Now, if we look into the elevations, you can see again the refrigerator elevation with the pantry, and that pantry cabinet comes with 3 pullouts. My corner cabinets here, walking around towards the sink elevation. Sink elevation you see here, I ended up with, so I want to talk about this really quick too. Cabinets are like Legos. And I worked in the 1300 cabinet line in this project, right? And just because my manufacturer only has, let's say, a sink base for a 30 inch and a 36 inch, doesn't mean that I'm screwed and I can't get a 33, okay? Cabinets are like Legos. Guys, we can always be thrifty and just do some modification on site. So I used a standard base cabinet that is 33 inches wide with full height doors because a standard base cabinets without full height doors would have a drawer on top, and I don't need a drawer, I'm putting in a sink. So I did a full height doors for this 33 inch base cabinet. And then it came with a half depth top on the top of the cabinet because it's not meant for a sink. And then all you need to do is cut it out. And if you open the doors and you don't like the fact that you're seeing the sink, just get a filler and then you can just, you know, screw that in, pin it in on the top of the case construction of your cabinet. That's it. That's a sink-based cabinet, really. So a lot of things can be adjusted on site in case you're working with standard spec cabinets and you can't modify them in the factory. Like, no biggie, like there's ways around this. Anyhow, then we did a shelf over the sink base cabinet because you want a little bit more room for your head and prepping. And when you look at the window elevation, you see I set that window kind of at 42 inches in height. That's kind of a standard height I like to use when I'm not running countertops into the window. And in this case, I had my slide-in range. I did not want my slide-in range to sit kind of inside of the window. No, I wanted this elevated. And then we have some wall cabinets, and then I've got this big rectangle on the right here. That's because I'm lazy on my drawings, and that's representing the shelving unit I've ordered from Germany from the other manufacturer, Nobilia. And, you know, that is also, when we're talking later a little bit about the different selections, again, cabinets are like Legos, guys. You don't have to use everything just from one cabinet line. You can mix and match. There's such cool stuff out there and so many cool suppliers that you can use. I love mix and matching and getting what I really want. Just because one cabinet line is a little bit more limited because I'm trying to work with a builder line and get it fast, doesn't mean I can't integrate cool stuff that I see somewhere else. So just be open-minded when you're designing with these lines. Again, you don't have to just stick with one cabinet line. So, okay, that was it. And now we're gonna go and talk a little bit about the selections and then look at all of the cool after and before pictures and kind of side by side.
Okay, I just want to point out one thing with the countertop though. If you look throughout the kitchen, you can see that I did not do a standard 3 cm thickness in this kitchen. I actually went with the thinner version, the 2 cm. And I personally really like it. I love 2 cm countertops. It's very sleek and a very European feel to it. But there was another reason to this decision, and it's because of this wooden integrated kind of breakfast dining area. Now, this part is what kind of made me design the entire kitchen, because I really fell in love with these finishes right here. And this is a laminate in a oak finish that I've ordered through Nobilia, and it came directly from Germany. And I had to be super patient with this video because it actually took me about a year to finish this project, because with COVID, there was just, you know, so many long lead times with products coming from out of the country. So yeah, it almost took a year for me to receive these parts from Germany. So I really kind of picked this first and then selected everything else for this kitchen. But the wooden countertop, and this is not a real oak wood, this is a laminate finish, but I'm telling you, the German laminates are just so much better in quality. Like, it just looks so good. So this countertop only comes, well, not only, but like in this scenario, what I've ordered, it comes a little bit thicker than a 3 cm. And I wanted a distinct kind of step separation between the different heights and the different surfaces. Because sometimes it's weird if you're trying to butt up different materials and they have just a really, really small difference in height, it just looks awkward. So then it makes more sense trying to set a distinct lip so you can kind of tell, okay, this is supposed to be a different area. We have prep area here next to the range. We have integrated seating area right here. So this breakfast area that I've ordered from Nobilia, I'm really sorry, my dogs again. They're not happy about waiting outside while we shoot this video. This integrated area that I've ordered from Nobilia, this was a separate shelving unit. And the cool thing is that the lighting comes integrated. And if I kind of put together the cost of ordering this shelving unit with integrated lighting versus having an electrician put an integrated lighting on the shelving unit, it is just so much more affordable to order it like this prepped, right? Pre-prepped. So super excited how this turned out. On the hardware of these cabinets, we went with Top Knobs, the Riverside pull. And again, guys, I'll have all of the links below with the different materials I've used. And then on the backsplash, I've used it's like a 5x5, might even be a 5.5 by 5.5 square tile from Surface Art. And I love this square. I feel like it has a really cool retro look, but because there is a mix between the matte finishes and the glossy finishes, they're like super random. It reflects the lighting so beautifully, and I feel like it gives it more of an eclectic, more modern vibe. So yeah, so that's it to the selections, and I think we're going to close this video out with a couple of before and afters and a couple of shots from on site on what the kitchen ended up looking like when it was all done. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.